President Donald Trump has threatened to shut down the U.S.-Mexican border if Mexico doesn't immediately stop the flow of undocumented immigration.
If the president were to close down the southern border, it would likely have major implications for Arizona.
Cronkite News reporter John Cardinale spoke with several local experts who break down the potential impact. John?
The impact of a border shutdown would be felt across the board, affecting our state's political, social, and economic ties with Mexico.
Massive caravans walking right through Mexico. So Mexico's tough. They can stop them, but they chose not to. Now they're going to stop them. And if they don't stop them, we're closing the border.
President Trump has made it clear he's considering closing the southern U.S. border as a way to deal with what his administration calls a crisis surrounding the increased number of migrant families seeking asylum. The possibility of a border shutdown has local experts, like ASU professor Alexander Avina, studying what that could really look like.
Borders also, the way it's set up, can also facilitate certain modes of transactions or interactions, right? Mostly limited to these trans-border cities, right? So if Trump was to cut off this interaction, it's going to hurt everyday people on a political, economic, and social level.
And on a financial level as well. Millions of dollars would be at stake if the border is closed. It's an idea Governor Doug Ducey is not keen on.
Well, of course I don't want to see the border close. I mean, I've said 1,000 times or more, Mexico is our #1 trading partner ×4. So I want to see us continue to be able to trade, but the border does need attention. There is a crisis at the border. It's a humanitarian crisis, and Congress needs to act on this.
Presuming that it's a long shutdown, this is a very big deal for Arizona. Mexico is Arizona's largest trading partner by like a factor of 4. It's not close. It's $15 billion of trade. It's everything from auto parts to agricultural produce.
Aside from the financial impact, Avina says closing down the border with Mexico could have serious consequences on the relationship with our neighbor to the south.
Socially and politically, this sends a terrible message to Mexico. Right? The U.S. needs to have a cordial working relationship with the Mexican government. And actually, the current Mexican government, even though it presents itself as being more progressive or leftist, they have been really patient with the Trump administration. They have tried to not engage in the name-calling and the fighting because they recognize that this is a really important relationship that they cannot afford to turn into a negative one.
A border shutdown would effectively close all the ports of entry, not allowing anyone to cross by car, bus, or on foot heading north or south. This, of course, wouldn't include the expansive areas in between cross points, potentially rerouting the flow of migrants towards much more treacherous terrains. In the broadcast center, John Cardinale, Cronkite News.